If you completely suck at selling or you just think sales is a numbers game, I'm gonna show you how to actually get leads in the door that wanna work with you. And we do this using 2 graphs, and this is exactly the marketing model that we use with all of our clients. So when people are actually calling them up, they know them, they trust them, so their close percent is higher. So stay tuned and I'll walk you through both graphs and how they're super relevant to you. If you've watched any of our other videos, you'll see that there's a different one that I talk all about the marketing strategy overall. All right, we'll link to it at the end of this video. And do us a favor right now, if you missed that one and you don't want to miss any more, hit the subscribe button right now to make sure that you always get up-to-date content from us. Now, as far as likelihood to sell and brand trust, it's called an exponential or a curved right here relationship. Now, what does that really mean? The more brand trust that a potential customer has with you, the easier it is to sell, okay? Let's talk about brands for a second. When you go to Foot Locker or wherever you want to go to buy shoes, if you are going to pick up a random shoe off the shelf, you have no idea who that really is. So the sales rep's going to have to come over and talk to you all about it, talk to you about who sponsors that shoe, what famous NBA player wears that shoe, stuff like that, and they're literally going to have to sell you on the entire idea because you have no idea who they are. Now you go find a Nike, you know who Nike is, right? They don't need to sell you on it, so you pretty much pick up this Nike shoe, you know what you're gonna get, and you go, okay, that makes sense. It's way easier to buy. So how does that directly affect your life? Let's talk about it. We're gonna start at the top. Your past customers. If you get a phone call from a past customer, somebody who's already used you, already used your brand, already worked with you, they trust you incessantly. And that's really what this all comes down to, is trust. Because think about this, if you're in a B&I group or a networking group, the very first day that you walk up into the actual meeting, nobody knows who you are. So how likely is it for them to refer you, leads? Not very likely. Or if they do, they're probably not very good leads because nobody knows who you are. Now, you fast forward 6 months, 1 year, it's a lot easier to get the leads going because people know you, people trust you, and they don't want to stick their neck out for somebody they don't know and trust. So that is exactly how past customers are, because they know you and they trust you. So it's not that hard to actually close them, because all you really got to do at this point is pick up the cell phone when they call and you're good to go. Working down, now you got your online internet website leads, right? Now, the reason a website lead is below the actual past customers is because they don't really trust you as much. They've seen a lot of your content, they've seen a lot of your videos maybe, they've been on your email list or whatever it is. They trust you not as much as your past customers, but more than a random person that's cold calling you. All right, so they're less likely to be closed, but still, it's hit or miss, right? And that is really where all this website advertising and all that stuff comes in, is depending on how much brand trust you've given them, that is how likely it is for them to close or get closed. On the bottom end of the spectrum, you've got your third-party lead generation sites, your Home Advisors, your Angie's List, things like that. Why is it harder to close them? Here is why. They don't trust your brand, right? First off, you don't even know when they submit a lead if they even want to hire somebody. They may just want more information, and then you're paying a bunch of money for that information. They also don't know your brand. They don't know how you differ from somebody else because those platforms don't allow it. They don't allow you necessarily to show how great you are and how much people can trust you. Yes, there are reviews. Yes, there are pictures of your work. However, why would they go with you versus somebody else who also has 100 5-star reviews on those sites when you're twice as much? They don't understand the entire aspect of what goes into your brand, and that's why it's really hard to close them, because they don't know who you are and they don't trust who you are. All right, now let's move on over to the second graph. This one is sales skill compared to value given. Now, let's walk down from left to right how this marketing and sales go together. There's a huge relationship between the two because a lot of people think that they're separate. They think if I get a bunch more leads, then I can grow my business. However, the way that it really works is that the better you are at selling, the less leads that you need, and vice versa. If you suck at selling, then maybe you need a ton of leads because it's just a numbers game, right? You got the people that they don't really value you that much. And no matter what you say or do, as long as you pick up the phone, they're gonna hire you, right? That's not that likely, especially from a random internet lead. So here's how they directly affect each other. Value given already. Think about if you're on somebody's email list, right? You're on a newsletter for a restaurant up the road, right? And they keep hitting you up about different events going on at the place and how great it is and stuff like that. Well, eventually when they actually have like a promotion going on, it's a lot easier when they put that out there for them to like actually sell you on the idea, because they've given you so much value that it's just like, okay, well, let's just go do it. And that's exactly how it is with your past customers, because you've given them value, you've shown them exactly how great it is to work with you. They now know what their life is like, that you've been in their life to help them out. So your sales skills don't need to be that strong, right? You just need to be a nice person, answer the phone, and you're good to go. Now, flip side, you've got your sales skills versus value given. Back to that Angie's List, Home Advisor, third-party lead gen sites. There's no way to actually give value. You can't really put up blog posts, right? Or outside referrals. All you can give is inside the platform referrals, stuff like that. In the contracting world, people love being educated. They love being empowered. So you need to keep, I guess, getting in front of people over and over by just empowering them and letting them know transparently what it's like to work with you and what it's like to have that service that you can provide done for them, right? Now, you can't do any of this on those platforms. You got nothing. So what do you have to rely on? Your sales skill. And I'm not talking about, oh, I've got a really good sales skill. I'm talking about if nobody knows who you are and you're not able to give them value right off the bat, then what do you have to do? You have to not only convince them that you're the right contractor, but you're also gonna have to convince them that you're the right contractor at your price. And that is why it's so hard to close these people at a regular price. You go, oh, it's the value shoppers. Oh, it's people that don't want to spend the money. Well, they don't want to spend the money on your service because they don't actually see the value of your service, right? They don't know what a brand new kitchen could bring their family because they haven't seen your videos and they haven't seen your blog posts, right? Or your befores and afters of how this family never really hung out and now they have this new kitchen. They can, right? Or if you're a landscaper, right? They've never known that hiring a higher end lawn maintenance company that can step in and make sure that their lawn looks shit hot for a barbecue coming up for like, you know, Memorial Day. They don't know that. They just think that you're just another commodity, another lawn care company, right? And that's why they don't value it, because they don't understand the value that you can actually bring, the problem that you can actually solve. So you better have some really good sales skill where you can somehow convey that over the phone to them and convince them that you're worth it and you're worth that money. And that is why it's so hard to close these people, right? The more that you can bring value to them beforehand, the easier it is to sell them. Now, we've got past customers. We've got totally random people just picking your name out of a hat of other contractors. Here's where website leads come in. The more value that you can give somebody, the easier it is to sell them. For example, somebody who's watching this video right now, and this is the very first video that they've seen of ours, if I called you up out of the blue, I'm gonna be up here. I'm gonna have to have some really good sales skills to say, hey, look, I know you watched one of my videos. I really appreciate that. Let's talk about your marketing. They're gonna go, well, dude, I just watched one of your videos. Like, what are you talking about? Flip side, down here, somebody who's seen all the videos, right? Do I need to have good sales skills? I still need to. However, not as strong. It's got to be good still because I've never actually worked directly with them. However, because I've given them enough value and enough, accreditation of myself over a certain amount of time, it's way easier. And that is why capturing people to put on your email list or to retarget, meaning get back in front of people on like Facebook or Google. So if they come to your website, you then follow them around with beneficial value material in advertisement form. That's why it's easier to close those people, or at least get them to submit a lead versus somebody brand new. Same idea with back to that referrals, right? Sales skills. Think about referrals that you get. I'm in a B&I group. The referrals that I get from people that have actually, from past customers, is much higher than the referrals that I get from people I've never worked with, but I just know in my sphere, right? So my networking group referrals are somewhere around here, right? Not totally out of the blue, because I've got a third-party testimonial of myself, but it's just, hey, you got a contracting business, you should call Logan. Up here. Now a past customer that does it, it's closer down to here. Hey, I've worked with Logan, this is what it's done for my business, you should give them a call. It's way different, right? And that's the same idea with giving value to people. The more value you can give, the easier it is to close somebody. So, if you're unwilling to somehow become the #1 salesman in the world, and I'm talking about to be up here to get, a high majority of these people to hire you ain't at the price that you want, you're gonna need to be pretty much good enough to actually write a book on sales to be at that level. All right, you don't have to be, just start to promote your brand a little more, give people value, so they're somewhere down here. You still gotta be a pretty good salesman down here, but the more they come down, the easier it is. So, long story short of it all, a lot of contractors think I have a leads problem. The issue is that if you need to get more leads, it's a numbers game. You're up here, right? You're looking to get more leads because your leads suck, right? But your sales skill is down here. That's the issue. So you may not have a leads problem. You may be actually having a sales problem. So if you're good with the amount of leads that you got right now, get better at sales. If you have no desire to get better at sales, or you know that you truly suck at it, then give your leads more value before they actually call. How do you do that? That is exactly what we talk about in the video that we're gonna link. It'll walk you down the actual funnel of how do you provide value to people and customers over and over and over, so eventually when they are ready to buy, they're somewhere down here, not somewhere up there. Hope this helps. Click the subscribe button if you would love to get more of this content, because we just keep pumping it out because we love to help out. Thanks.